I'm Jessica Mikowski, mindset coach, co-founder of Yogi Triathlete, and host of the Awake Athlete podcast. Welcome to Season 6, The Road to El Cruce. This season is a living documentary, my journey to a 3-day 100K stage race through the wild terrain of Patagonia. It's not just about endurance training, it's about exploring the mental, emotional, and spiritual edges that shape us. There's no set schedule. Episodes will drop as the layers peel back. My hope is that in hearing my story, you remember your own strength and your own path home. This is me showing up in real time, and I am all in. I'm so glad you're with me. Welcome back. This is episode 7, and today we're going to talk about the training I never planned for. Why do I feel like I already talked about this? Well, probably because I've had some obstacles. And when I say that, I don't mean like I've had more obstacles than normal or anything like that, or in the past. I mean, this is why you start training far in advance for the thing that you're training for, because life happens and life unfolds in every moment, and you never know when things are going to shift. So I've had some travel, I had sickness, and the latest is a week ago today, I took a fall on the trail. And so this is now a shift. I wouldn't even say, I guess you could say it's an obstacle, but it's like, it's a shift in training. So I'm now in the training of healing and the training of embracing consequences and the training of trust and the training of surrender. And if my coach said, okay, Jess, we need to shift your training. We're going to do it today. We're going to shift it in this direction because this is what is going to be best for you in the long haul. I wouldn't still be doing the workouts from the previous training plan. I would also shift to the training plan. So if I'm fighting this, which so often we do, we just fight what is, whether that's injury, whether that's another person, a situation, work, changes in our bodies, what we see when we look in the mirror, like any time where we're fighting, we're just creating so much suffering for ourselves. And I think some of our biggest work as humans is accepting what is. And my teacher always says, like, whatever comes, let it come. And whatever goes, let it go. And that is so beautiful to hear, right? You can even feel the flow in those words. But as humans, we have this idea of how things are going to go, and it's control. So much of that resistance comes from the fact that we thought we were in control, and we're reminded that we're not in control. And the only thing we can control is our response to life. So this fall on the trail, it brought me here, right here in front of the microphone, which I hope will be a helpful episode, or at least entertaining. And it's giving me the clearest window yet into the mental and spiritual practices that endurance asks of us, and also the physical, because now I'm tending to healing. And I'm so, so, so grateful because there is so much I can do. I knew I was going to record this episode, obviously, because as I say in the intro, like as the layers peel back, well, we've definitely had a layer peel back here, but I wasn't ready. I was still in the acute phase. I was in the shock of whoa, what just happened? Thursday I was running, and Friday I could not walk. Saturday was much better, but still not walking very well. Sunday much better. Monday, much better. Tuesday, much better. Wednesday, much better. And now it's Thursday, and I feel like I'm starting to move into what I call the last 5 pounds of healing. It's like you have these big gains. Let's take swimming, for example. When somebody starts swimming, let's say they're doing like a 3-minute 100, And as they train and as they understand how to relate to the water, and as they understand it's about moving water and it's more about what's going on under the water than what it looks like on top of the water, and head position and learning how to breathe and all of that, they get really, really big gains at first. And then you kind of hit this piece of your training where, getting a couple seconds per 100 are your big gains. And so here we are now, like a week in, definitely in that subacute phase. And what is it? Like, what's going on? So from my knowledge of the body and injury rehab and just the architecture of what happens in the body when you have an acute trauma like falling, I have sustained some bone bruising in the lower part of my femur on the inside. So it would be like the distal end of my femur where it articulates into my knee, because that's where the impact happened. And also a little bit of some soft tissue trauma there as well. And the side of the patella is a little sore. Where it hurts to the touch is where it was hurting when I was first walking. Now, I don't feel pain when I walk, which is great. I can bike. I don't feel pain. I can swim. I don't have a super powerful kick right now, so I'm not even doing that. I'm just pulling. I'm using the pool buoy. I can do yoga. I can weight bear, and I'm just being conservative. Now, that to say, I am also somebody who likes to feel fit, and my essence is not to hold back. My essence is to throw myself off a cliff. So I've got to watch that. And, I ended up being really sore the other day, probably just overcompensating in yoga, not sore in my knee, but sore in other parts of me. Cause it's there's that part, I'm human. There's that part that's I'm losing all my fitness, but I know I'm not losing fitness. In fact, in those first couple of days of total rest, I was actually gaining fitness. Because what's the recipe? Stress, rest, adapt. Instead of going through everything that happened in the fall and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not that exciting. I fell, I bruised my bones. It doesn't seem like there's anything deep going on. Doesn't seem like, it seems like the architecture of my knee is totally intact. I'm stable. I can weight bear, no pain. I can cycle, no pain. I did a little bit of threshold the other day, no pain. So that's all good stuff. Also amazing. One of my clients is an orthopedic surgeon. So lovely that I was able to kind of run these things by her as well. And, just confirming what I think. And I haven't been to a doctor. I haven't gotten any imaging because I just don't think it's necessary. I know the anatomy of the knee. I know the process of rehab. This is going to take time. I don't know how much time, but I know that so far I've experienced rapid healing, and I'm going to continue to lean into that. I trust my body. And this is one of the things that has really been coming up is trust that there are no mistakes. I mean, I know there's no mistakes, but trust that I'm exactly where I need to be for where I'm going. Trust that my bones are so healthy and strong that a fall like this is not going to break me. Because if you looked at the fall, it's not like I fell off a mountain. I actually came in contact with the most dangerous thing on the trail, which is a rock that's embedded in the ground. So you kick it and it goes nowhere, but you go flying. And that's what happened. So the places that are sore is the place where the impact was. It seems very clear cut. I have bruising in the places that it's sore. And so, yeah, I think it's just time and patience. And I'm so, so grateful. I didn't roll an ankle. I didn't torque my knee when I was falling. My eyeballs are still in their sockets. I didn't break anything. My collarbones are healthy. My shoulders are healthy. So much to be grateful for. But I want to drop into just the reflection and the lessons that I've been pulling out of this, because I think this is really the mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical edges that shape us. And so I'm being refined. In yoga, it's tapas. It's the burning in the fire. And I'm burning right now. I mean, literally to the touch, if I touch the inside of my knee, it's hot, which is such a good sign because it tells me that the healing mechanisms of the body are activated, and I trust in that inherent wisdom. I learned about that inherent wisdom when I was in massage school many, many years ago. And even before I understood like the book smarts of it, I've always had this belief and deep love for my body and just its magnificence and its intelligence. Now, that's not to say that I've talked nasty to myself many, many times about how I look or, throughout the years. And again, that's the human part of me. And this podcast is super vulnerable as I speak about these things. And I do that because there's really no other way for me. It's just who I am, is to kind of speak the truth about what happens behind the scenes. Also, it's with this intention that we can connect, that you can feel a connection, that you can feel like you're not alone, because we are more similar than we are different. Okay, so let's dive into some lessons. Consequences. This is a part of the deal. This is a part of the deal. I trail run, and sometimes it's on super technical trails. In this case, it wasn't even on a technical trail, but it was on a trail. And as endurance athletes, we know the terrain, we know the risks, and we know that sometimes we'll pay the cost of those risks. Consequences are not negative. I think it has such a negative slant to it, but they're not negative. They're simply the other side of action. We give it the meaning. And the mind training is all about what meaning we're giving to things. Now, am I jumping for joy? No, I'm not jumping for joy, but I'm leaning into neutrality. I'm leaning into calm. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. These are the laws of science. Nothing we do results in stagnation. When we choose to run, to climb, to explore, we open ourselves to a full range of outcomes. And the true mental strength is not just in taking the risk. I think we focus so much on that, like take the leap, take the risk. And yes, we have to take that. That's step one. But step two is like embracing the outcome when it shows up as pain, as limitation, as a fall. This is how trust is strengthened. I'm seeing how much I trust. And then I'm also seeing and hearing that little voice that is like, oh my God, I hope this is going to be okay. Trust isn't a concept. It's an embodied knowing that everything is for us. And I talk about this all the time. And I think some of the most beautiful pieces of me being who I am and choosing a profession to help people train their minds and find more peace and calm in their life is that I am living this. And I hear in my voice and I hear in my mind and in my head the very things that I talk with my athletes about, who are training, who are falling, who are worried, who are celebrating, who are crushing it, who are sidelined without, notice. And all of these things that I'm working with them on are things that I've worked with myself on. And now, once again, I get to turn it all into myself and live it. Because that's what I got to do. I got to live it so I can teach it. Is this easy? No, this is not easy. It's not easy, and in fact, this recording is coming at a really good time because I'm feeling a little like, today. But because I want to run and I can't run. So that's I feel that today, but that doesn't mean I don't trust. It just means that I'm allowing all the emotions and this willingness to feel all the feelings is so much a part of the refinement. It's so much a part of the burning of me being in the fire right now, the burning away of what no longer serves me. There was some kind of point of attraction. There was some kind of energetic match that put me on that trail and put me in that step and put me in that fall. And I'm going to trust it. Because even though things have been really tough in the past, I believe wholeheartedly that although not everything is good, everything resolves to good. There's a whole chapter in my book on that. And that chapter, I believe it's like chapter 9. If you've read the book, then you know what I'm talking about. It was one of the most intense traumas of my life to be extremely close to just the darkest of dark, the most violent of violent. And it was not good at all. And but so much good has resolved from it. If you haven't read the book, Awake Athlete, When Mastery is Your Only Option, highly recommend it. It's everything that has allowed me to get to where I am today and share this with you and share it from a place of confidence. So, this fall is not separate from my training. And now this path, this shift is my training. And it's showing me the level of trust that I already carry and giving me the opportunity to deepen it. Because trust is the bridge that takes us from why me to for me. And it's where the athlete meets the awake athlete. And this is how trust is strengthened. Trust is not strengthened when everything is going smooth. Trust is strengthened when you're halfway through a training block to the biggest event of your life and you take a fall and all of a sudden we're 7 days or 8 days in and I have not run, but I can bike and I can swim. And I am so, so grateful for all those things. So that is not being taken for granted or lost on me. And then, so what's the process? Like, what's the biggest thing I'm doing in this trust? I'm surrendering. And surrender is not passive. It's not giving up. In fact, Friday, when I'm here and I can't even walk, I am looking at my email and I get a notification, not for one, but all of my flights have been rescheduled. So I get this opportunity to confirm the changes or cancel the flights and get a full refund. I confirmed the flights. Of course I did. Because that's trust. Trust of however this plays out, trust that it is for me. And that surrender, oh my gosh, that is not passive. It's an active choice to release the resistance, to let the why me, poor me fall away. And that takes massive discipline. Over the years, I've learned to let go of the internal fight. I controlled everything. I manipulated things. I manipulated people. I mean, this is decades ago. And I always got what I wanted. And left me with a lot of guilt and anxious feelings because that's not aligned with who we truly are. Truly, it's why I stepped onto this path of like mindfulness and meditation and just trying to find that thing that everybody told me about, like that peace is within you. And so finding that and resting in that calmness and getting really, really good in that gap between what's coming at me and how I'm responding, that's how I've let go of the internal fight. And it hasn't been overnight. It's been gradually through practice, relentless practice, meditation, yoga nidra, breath work, all of these things that I have doubled downed? Is that a word? Double downed on since last Thursday. And these are all techniques that train surrender. In the beginning, I fought hard against injury. Oh, so hard many years ago. Hard against limitation. I fought hard against rest. That was not me. I thought it was like a good quality that I was impatient. I thought it was a good quality that I could multitask. I thought it was a good quality that I was go, go, go. Eventually, that constricted me so much that I needed to learn rest. And I did. And I'm so glad that I did. And I'm so glad that I started this so many years ago because I just got to this point, like in my 20s, where I was like, is this it? Like, if this is it, like me being stressed and me, being upset and disappointed and judgy and jealous and like, is this it? Because if this is it, I am not interested. And I knew there was another way. And so, gosh, thank God for meditation, the very thing I never thought I would ever do. But meditation came a long time after my 20s. The first thing was just like slowing down and finding yoga and working on self-acceptance and all of these things that I just tried to figure out myself. And I think I did a pretty good job of it over the years. But meditation was the thing that changed everything. And now I meet surrender differently. It's such a freaking strength. And surrender lets me see clearly what is here without the distortion of frustration. And honestly, you guys, like, I haven't felt a fight. I haven't felt a fight. I've had some emotions come up just like, oh, bummer. I wanted to ride Palomar on Saturday. That's not going to happen. And it didn't happen last Saturday. I was all geared up for it. I had my water bottles ready and everything. So I feel those things, but man, do they pass through so much quicker than they ever have. And keep coming back to these like tenets of trust and belief and surrender and the focus on what I can do. When injury happens, the mind can spin on what we can't do. But the real power comes in asking, like, what can I do? Because it's easy to say, I can't run right now. Okay, I don't want to focus on that. That doesn't feel good. That's not the thing that I want. I want to run. I want to run. And it's so interesting to listen. If you listen to the words of others or even listen to your own words, how many times we're talking about what we don't want? And many years ago, I started, this realization came to me through a friend of mine. And this idea of like focus on what you want and not on what you don't want. And that is such a game changer. I focus on what I can do, right? And again, fortunate to have this client who is an orthopedic surgeon. And so I've checked in with this person this morning, just on, like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I'm pain-free when I ride. I'm pain-free after I ride. And I've just been riding on the trainer. Like, can I push some intervals? Is that okay? Because we're not talking about a bone break. It's not a fracture. It's a bruise. But I have fallen many times on the trail. I've been trail running for a while now. And I've never had a fall that's taken me out like this one. It's pretty interesting. If you looked at me, you would think I'm fine. But this bone bruise is, it's my teacher right now. But having just this person that I trust helps me move forward just with that confidence, right? So you could say like, oh, I'm looking for validation. Well, you know what? I'm a big fan of validation. I think validation is fantastic. Doesn't it feel great? It feels so good when you are validated. But if that's the only thing you're relying on, okay, now we got to work on trust. Now we got to work on belief and things like that. And I've worked on those things for a very long time. So the validation is just nice because, hey, doesn't it feel good to feel good? It does. So I'm pain-free and I'm moving, into this subacute phase. I can ride my bike. I can strength train with modifications. I can keep momentum moving forward. And my husband, who knows me very, very well, now has me with a firm directive not to crush it. So what am I doing? I'm crushing it at not crushing it, and that's self-regulation. This is another massive tenet of mind training and allowing yourself to really fall into your most natural state, which is well-being. So self-regulation it's the unsung endurance sport, and I am living it again. And then so grateful for my understanding of the body and all of the study that I've done of the body and my background in orthopedic and sports massage and injury rehab, which was really like my specialty as a massage therapist. When Friday morning came around and walking was not an option, like I knew, okay, you're in the acute phase, girl. Like it is all about protection. It is all about rest. It is all about allowing the healing mechanisms of the body to just be in charge. And I trust my body's inherent wisdom to organize in a way that's sending me forward in the healing process. And I have no evidence ever in the past, and especially with this, that is a misled belief. I double down on those things like ice, clean food, sleep, meditation, healing meditations. So good. I have some really powerful healing mantras that I've received from my teacher. If you are interested in one of those, just send me a message. I'll send it along to you. And I've moved successfully out of that acute stage into the subacute, and my body is actively repairing. My role is to create the best possible environment for healing. So smart movement, AKA self-regulation. Because here's the deal. I'm rested. Like I'm ready to go out and run a marathon right now, but I can't. So the healing is taking a lot of energy, and I need to create the best environment for that. So circulation, lymph drainage, which is a wonderful technique. I've been doing that multiple times a day. And in short, the lymph system can help, especially in injury rehab. The lymph system can carry larger wastes and proteins that the bloodstream can't carry. And lymph drainage, one of the ways that it's activated is through like you manually activate the lymph system. Muscle pump is another way. It's kind of like a Roomba. Like it's just always kind of cleaning you up on the inside. And I really trust my lymph system. Laughter, like I'm doing things that feel good. I'm watching lighthearted things on, whatever, on Netflix and things like that. Like just things that are keeping positive impressions in my mind. Meditation, of course. And this is not about ignoring the injury. It's about working with it. And yoga teaches us to use everything to our advantage, everything. And that is not from a selfish standpoint. It's from a standpoint of allowing me to get back 100% so I can continue to do my work in the world. And along the way, through this medium of podcasting, I'm able to continue my work. It just looks a little different right now. So this fall, right? Like it's not a setback. It is something that occurred. I didn't expect it, although it's not completely out of the wheelhouse of trail running that you're going to fall. You're going to fall. It's like when you start triathlon, it's like the panic attack on the swim is the rite of passage. This is one of those rites of passage. And it's an invitation to practice consequences without fear, to nullify doubt, to focus on what I can do, to use my faculty of imagination to still imagine that feeling at the start line, to not deny anything, but to feel everything, to strengthen trust, to surrender actively, to lean into self-regulation. Like our minds are anti-fragile, which means they need adversity to grow stronger. So I'm getting stronger. And if the story that's spinning is negative and it just creates suffering, it's just one story. You can create whatever story you want. And that becomes your reality in that moment, because how you feel is the magnet. How you feel is the creation. And that's truly like our thoughts are dictating our reality. And for sure, they have to do with our emotions. And I know from the physiology of the body and the nervous system and how this all works, like for me to be fighting, for me to be stressing, for me to be worrying, not only are those things just prayers for everything I don't want to actually happen in my life, they're compromising my ability to heal. It doesn't make anyone a bad person if they are marinating in that stuff. But to know that you can create new stories and new neural pathways that become automatic. They become the least action pathways. For example, when I fell, I was on a trail and I got up as soon as I could because there was mountain bikers on the trail and I was on a bit of a blind corner. My first thought was just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like so much protection. Yes, I fell. Yes, I was bleeding. Yes, it's been a week since I've ran, but so much protection. And that's the least action pathway now because I've paved it in times where everything in life says don't trust and everything in life says you're a victim. And everything in life says, why me? To write a new story, to realize that there's a blank canvas always available, and to start to paint your masterpiece there, these things that I think we inherently long for become our default. Is this easy? No, this is not easy, but it is. And so I'm going to make the most of it. And I'm going to be the best ally I can be to my body to get healed. This is a part of the deal. Injury is a part of the path. It's going to happen. And it's here to train us in ways the track, the trail, and the gym can't. And right now, the most endurance I can show is in patience, which is in presence. And man, the medicine of presence, oh God, I just can't get enough of that medicine. It is such freedom. And, the clarity that every single moment, even this right here, right now, is my training. So I'll keep you guys updated. If there's anything that I left out, you want me to dig in more on, let me know. But things are good. I got full range of motion. I always did. That's the other thing. There's so many telltale signs that this is a bruise. And I also have stayed off of Dr. Google. That's just not of interest to me because I believe that my body heals at a rapid rate. I trust my body to heal at a rapid rate. I trust the strength of my bones. I trust the strength of my mind. I trust the strength of my heart. And I trust that even though this is not something that I would have chosen consciously, that this is 100% for me. And maybe some of it's for you. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys for episode 8. This show is brought to you by Yogi Triathlete because you were born for more than just pushing through. We've been leading the way in holistic performance since the beginning, body, mind, and spirit. So thanks for tuning in. Stay awake, stay the course, and I'll meet you back here soon.